What's up, guys? KAMIKAZE-FOX coming to you from International Racing League IRL F3 Round 5 Austria F1 2020 on the PS4 platform, and getting in here late because of obviously the real life F1 race that just ended a few minutes ago in Mugello, however you say it, that crazy Italian race. And it was obviously that was quite the race for anybody that watched it, so getting in here a little late. But here we are, round 5 at Austria, and let's get some stuff up here for everybody. So we got everybody joining in. And let's get to it. So we've got 11 minutes left in qualifying, and Epic the Animal is on top of the charts right now, 103.142, a tenth of a second quicker over the championship points leader, Ben Fernandez, followed closely by Team Haas's Thomas Zentner, and then followed again closely by Alejandro Gopar. So it's another Haas Red Bull showing here at Austria, and then we've got Patuka 16, that is Peter Sundberg, 5th quickest. We've got Bjorn Langfeld, who is 6th quickest so far, and then James Hallworth set a time of 104.333 on the medium tires, and then we've got Rowan Lakely, Kevin Harrison, last week's winner, Sandre Sauerhog, Sassy Pickle, Brandon Vegas, and T. Jonas have yet to set a time, and Ben Fernandez just went quickest with a 1-0. Oh, well, back to back. So Ben Fernandez went 103.133, and then Epic the Animal Logan Arond backed it up with a 102.825. He's the first driver to crack into the 102s. And that is quite the qualifying lap right there. But again, it is Haas. Red Bull, followed by Haas, and then another Red Bull. So that is the rundown so far. 9:30 left to play in the session. And again, my apologies to the league and to the viewers for getting in here late, but just trying to get caught up with everything that was going on in the real-life Formula 1 race. And we will try to recap round 4 last week at the Netherlands, which was another amazing race here at for IRL. Logan Arund picked up a second pole position last week out. Looks like he's on his way to his 3rd pole position of the year as of right now. But Kevin Harrison ended up walking away with the win in what was a very crazy race, followed by some safety car issues. Alejandro Gopar was 2nd, and once again, Logan Arund got caught out by the safety car, cost himself another win as he finished 3rd, but he did finish ahead of Ben Fernandez, so he was able to close in the points gap. We'll talk about that in a minute. T. Jonas was 5th last week. Ewan McGregor was 6th. Thomas Zentner 7th. His race went horrible for him. And Sassy Pickle just went 103.068, so he's closing in on that 102 barrier. Bjorn Langfeld finished 8th last week. James Hallworth was 9th, and then Sandre Sauerhog picked up the last remaining point. Good on him. Brandon Vegas was 11th, and then the 2 DNFs was Sam Thompson and Callum Anderson. And as far as the point standings go, Ben Fernandez has a huge points advantage heading into today's race. He's currently got 81 points to his credit, and then there's a tie for 2nd between T. Jonas and Logan Arund, so we're going to pick up T. Jonas, who's currently 5th quickest. But they're both sitting at 45 points. And Epic has retired from the session with 7:30 left to go. That is interesting. I guess he feels like he can't get any more out of the car. Awfully early to call that quits, though, especially when you've got Sassy Pickle and Ben Fernandez only 2 3/10 of a second off of that qualifying time. So that's the staple to beat. 102.825 is your provisional pole time as Logan has retired from the session. T. Jonas is going to head into the pit. 7 minutes left to play in the session. You see Sassy Pickle heading in there as well. We'll pick up Sandre Sauerhog. He's in sector 1 heading up towards turn 2 or 3, however you want to call it. I call it turn 2. So get used to it. And Sandre's already invalidated his lap time, so unfortunately that's not good for him. Try to pick up Thomas Zentner. Oh, and big boy Ewan has joined, so Ewan McGregor is going to be in for the race as we pick up Thomas Zentner, and he's missing his front wing, so he's had a massive off. And another massive off into the Armco there. So we'll pick up Alejandro Gapar, picked up his first podium position last week at Zandvoort. And Thomas Zentner has retired from the session as well. So Team Haas looks like, I guess they feel like they can't get any more out of the car than what they've got. So their times are locked in. Again, Epic the Animal, Logan Arond is locked in at that 102.825 as your provisional pole sitter as we ride along with Alejandro Gapar, currently sitting in the 6th position, heading up into turn 1. Getting that power back down as he makes the long run over to turn 2. Hard on the brakes, and he's purple in sector 1. Power back down, gets a good run coming out of turn 2. No wheel spin, gets the traction back down. Bit of a lockup on the right front as he heads down towards turn 3, and then you've got this little section here where you've got these two left-handers. Come through the first left-hander, then you've got the short chute, run down to the next one. The only two left-handers on the old course, and he's purple in sector 2. Alejandro Gapar on a flyer of a lap. Puts the power back down, going to come across the line. It's going to be close. 102.930, and he's just shy of Epic the Animal's provisional pole time of a 102.825. And Alejandro is the second driver to crack into the 102, so good on him. And Ben Fernandez just came across the line, a 102.978. So Red Bull trying to dig deep and get some speed out of those cars, and they're getting very close to beating the provisional pole time set by Logan Arond. We're going to pick up a Rowan Lakely. He's starting a hot lap now. So Rowan has gone 104.120. I believe that time was set on the medium tires, if I remember correctly. Big lockup on that right front. Not the smoothest transition, getting the power back down. Another big lockup on the right front. So Rowan Lakely really going deep into these corners. Last of the late breakers, almost clipped the grass there. And he's invalidated his lap time, unfortunately, because of that. So he'll have to come around and try it again. So we'll pick up Peter Sundberg. He's on an invalidated lap time as well. Is Ewan McGregor able to get in? Okay, so Ewan McGregor's in the qualifying session now. He's yet to post the time, but he did join late, but good to see he's here. And Ewan McGregor is actually one of the reserve drivers for F3, but he's actually really put in some good showings in the couple of races that he's done. And I feel like he's probably trying to work his way towards a full-time seat, especially with the way the car count's been the last couple of weeks. So we're going to ride along with Ewan McGregor. And looks like he invalidated that lap time, unfortunately, so he's going to have to go around and try it again. So we'll pick up Sassy Pickle. Pickle on another flyer. Currently 4th quickest. Ooh, and can he use James Hallworth for a slipstream? Nah, James was a little slow coming out of there. We've got Paco Suarez on the live chat. Good to see he's with us in spirit and on the live chat. We would much rather have him in the race, but as we spoke last week, he's off to Madrid, Spain for university, so certainly wish him the best of luck with that. We certainly hope to see Paco back on track, hopefully during the winter and summer breaks. currently riding along with Sassy Piccolo. He's gone 103.068. He's just on the cusp of cracking into the 102s. Trying to get that power back down. Sassy looking relatively smooth on this lap. Can he break into those 102s? Woo! A little bit of a twitchy moment there. Runs a little wide coming out, and it invalidates his lap time on the last corner, and he would have gone 102.941, which would have set him in third, but unfortunately lap time invalidated, so Sassy's got some speed. Brandon Villegas, good on him as he comes across the line to start another lap, but he's going sixth quickest so far. It runs extremely wide coming out of turn one. And we've got a minute left to play, and Epic the Animal, Logan Aron, is still the provisional pole sitter with a 102.825 is the time to beat, and he retired from the session with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left to play, and nobody's been able to beat that. And time is about to be up. And Brandon Villegas sounds like he might be off the pace. Yeah, Brandon Villegas is done, so he's not going to improve his time. We're going to pick up Alejandro Gapar, who just went 102.916, so he improves his time. It looks like he's off the pace. We'll pick up Ben Fernandez. Ben Fernandez is going to be a last-ditch effort for Fernandez to try and set a time. Here he comes, and he's off the pace. 105, so he's done. Ben Fernandez is done. Sassy Pickle is done. Alejandro Gapar is off the pace, as you can see. We'll pick up T. Jonas. And T. Jonas coming around the last couple of corners now. Oh, and he runs wide in the last corner. It validates his lap time, so he's done. Rowan Lakely just improved his time, 103.334. James Hallworth off the pace. We'll pick up Bjorn Langfeld, who just went around him. Time is up. Checkers are flying. We got Bjorn Langfeld, really the last driver on a flyer. Whoa! That looked like a big movement there. Dived into that corner real hard. And he's going to run wide coming out of the corner. Do you have anything for the front row? 103.341. And look how close that is on timing and scoring. Now, Kevin Harrison, we're going to pick up Sandre Sauerhog. Well, Sandre is done. He never set a time, unfortunately. But Kevin Harrison and Sandre Sauerhog, the two drivers that are going to be on the medium tires, in a 102.825. That is a good time here around Austria. So here is your starting order. We've got Logan Aron, followed by Alejandro Gapar, followed by Ben Fernandez. Sassy Pickle is 4th. Thomas Zentner 5th. Brandon Villegas is 6th. Rowan Lakely 7th. Bjorn Langfeld is 8th. T. Jonas is 9th. James Hallworth is 10th. Peter Sundberg is 11th. Ewan McGregor is 12th. Kevin Harrison, the only driver to set a time on the mediums, is going to be 13th. And then Sandre Sauerhog is going to round out your 14 drivers for today's race. He did not set a time in qualifying. So, unbelievable. So we've got Luis Wassman with us on the live chat as well. Good to hear from him. I believe he'll be racing later today, actually, in the International Racing Series. Not International Racing League. But Luis Wassman also does IRL in the F4 Series, and as he is stating on the live chat, he would have been 4th quickest here. So the times really close together, pretty much through F3 through F5. Relatively close across the board for most of those drivers. We had so many signups this year. I think we stated back in the very first round, prior to the first round, we had 142 signups to join IRL this year, which was great. but it's also becoming a bit frustrating because we had 142 signups and we can't seem to get a full grid across any of the tiers. So many drivers that wanted to participate, but so many drivers that are lacking in that participation right now. So we'll run through the starting grid one more time. Logan Aron with his third pole position of the year. He's been robbed a couple of times of a win so far. Can he capitalize on this today and walk away with his first win? And then you got Alejandro Gapar starting in second, coming off of his first podium last week at Zandvoort. He'll be looking to try and do it again. And your championship points leader, Ben Fernandez, who was your championships leader by a very large margin, 40 points almost, be starting in the third spot. Sassy Pickle, one of the reserve drivers, not 100% of his name, but he's got a weird last name, like Villarreal or something like that. Villarreal. But we're just going to call him Sassy Pickle, starting in the fourth spot. Thomas Zentner had a disappointing effort last time out as he finished 7th at Zandvoort, had a rough race. He's looking to try and make up for that today. Brandon Villegas, another reserve driver, good showing, 6th quickest in qualifying. You've got Rowan Lakely starting in the 7th spot, see if he can work his way through the field. And then you've got Team Mercedes, Bjorn Langfell and T. Jonas starting in the 8th and 9th position. These guys won a Constructors' Championship a couple of years ago in F2 and F3, so struggling a little bit here at Austria today. Then you've got James Hallworth starting in the 10th position. You got Peter Sundberg is going to be in 11th. Ewan McGregor's another reserve driver, but he's had a couple of really good showings so far this year. We'll be looking to see if he can work his way into the points once again. And Kevin Harrison, last week's winner, who capitalized on other people's mistakes, had minimum time penalties, was able to walk away with the win. And then Sandre Sauerhog, our resident Rubens Barrichello, be starting in the 14th spot. So we'll wait for the 5 red lights. You see the green flag waving as we wait for the game to set. And somehow we've already got a yellow flag in Sector 3. I love Codemasters. So lights out, time to run what you brung. They're away to puff of smoke, and it's a good getaway for Logan Aron. And here comes Sassy Pickle, tries to get in between. He's going to try and take over Ben Fernandez, but he can't make it work. Oh, and the McLaren's going around. That's Brandon Villegas. What has happened to Brandon Villegas on the opening lap? Looks like he had a bit of a tank slapper, managed to save it. Meanwhile, there's a battle back towards the front end mid-pack. This is Thomas Zentner trying to work his way up into the 3rd spot. See if he can get up there to help his teammate. Oh, and there's huge contact there between the Haas and the Red Bull. Luckily, no one, doesn't look like anybody lost any wings or anything like that. We've got T. Jonas battling it out with his teammate Bjorn Langfell. Looks like Sassy Pickles lost the spot and Rowan Lakely's gained a spot, so Team Ferrari mid-pack right now. Rowan Lakely's got the Mercedes breathing down his neck. That is T. Jonas looking to make a move on him. Meanwhile, Thomas Zentner is still trying to see if he can maybe use some of that slipstream off of the Red Bull. And of course, timing and scoring is going to be all screwed up now. Epic the Animal still out in front. He's got a half-second gap over Alejandro Gapar, but they're getting ready to very quickly come around and start lap 3, and that is going to be DRS enabling. And all the cars relatively very close to one another, so DRS is going to be a huge thing. You see this gaggle of cars back here. This is Ewan McGregor. We're trying to pick up in the 11th spot. He's just outside of the points paying position of 10th of James Hallworth. But I mean, you can pretty much throw a blanket over the whole top 10. And Epic just hit the fastest lap of this race, but everybody behind him at this point, everybody behind him is going to have the DRS advantage over the car in front of them. And with times this close to one another, times this close, timing penalties are going to be a huge, huge factor at the end of this race if this race continues the way that it has. And we're finally starting to get a little bit of separation from some of these guys. So you've got Epic the Animal, followed by Alejandro Gapar, followed by Ben Fernandez. That's your top three. Then there's a little bit of a gap, about 1.2 seconds back to the other Haas of Thomas Zentner. But he's got Sassy Pickle and Rowan Lakely breathing down his neck. You go back a little bit further, and you've got James Hallworth, who looks like he's holding up a whole train of cars, but nobody's been able to get around him. Look at these 5 cars racing together. And Sondre Sauerhall just picked up a 3-second time penalty. And what has happened to Kevin Harrison? Harrison getting mixed up in this gaggle of cars. Again, this is being held up by James Hallworth. And when you see Villegas is trying to make a move to the inside. And Peter Sundberg, he's got Kevin Harrison breathing down his neck. And now Harrison's going to try and make a move to the outside as they head down to turn 2. He gets the pass done. Shoo. And now you've got T. Jonas and Rowan Lakely. They're side by side at the drag race down into turn 3. Ooh, and big lockups on both right fronts. Rowan Lakely trying to hang tough with T. Jonas. And Jonas is going to get the job done. And now Lakely finds himself the meat in the middle of a Mercedes sandwich. And Sondre Sauerhall picks up another 3-second time penalty. It's inconsequential to his position right now as he's currently running in the 14th spot. And we've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. And that might be Sondre. Looks like he's had a little bit of an off and he finally gets up and going again. So, whoa, the back end coming around on Sondre. And Sondre's got his hands full with this Renault right now. So the struggles continue for Sondre, and Bjorn Langfell is now side by side with Rowan Lakely. Lakely in danger of losing another spot. They make contact with one another. Hard on the brakes, going to try and go around the outside. Almost made contact with Bjorn Langfell. Meanwhile, Ewan McGregor still trying to find a way around James Hallworth. McGregor right on his gearbox as they come down through the short chute into the next left-hander. Now these 5 cars have separated themselves just a little bit. And Hallworth seems to have his car trimmed out a little bit because he's got enough straightaway speed to keep these cars behind him. Looks like he's losing a little bit trying to come out of the corners and getting that power down. Going to ride along here with Ewan McGregor for this lap. We'll have the DRS slot open. You see, even with the DRS open, Ewan McGregor's not able to make a whole lot of ground on James Hallworth. Hallworth looks like he struggles for traction coming out of the corner. Once that racing point gets going, he's got it trimmed out and he's able to keep these cars behind him. So Hallworth with a very slippery setup on that car right now as he is flying down these straightaways. And to be fair, McGregor did get in late, so he probably wasn't able to do a proper setup on the car as he came in mid-qualifying session. So McGregor may be stuck with a default setup, which could be hindering his performance as it is. But Hallworth able to keep him at bay. And Kevin Harrison just picked up a 3-second time penalty. Thomas Zentner is the first car to hit the pits. Only on lap 7 of 36, so he'll swap over to the medium tires and possibly try to run those mediums all the way to the end. Seems a bit early for a pit stop if you ask me, but looks like he's going to be trying to go for an undercut, maybe garner and gain some positions as the pit cycle will start. Meanwhile, nothing's changed at the front. We still have Epic the Animal Logan Arond out in front of the 2 Red Bulls. Alejandro Gapar being tailed by his teammate and championship points leader Ben Fernandez. So not sure if there's any team orders between these two guys. And Peter Sundberg just picked up a 3-second time penalty. So did Brandon Villegas. And Luis Wassman making a good point that the top three are going to be probably separated by not much. Time penalties are going to be a huge factor towards the end of this race. And really, at this point, it seems like the DRS is just keeping the Red Bulls in touch with Logan as he continues to lead this race here on lap 8. Well, it looks like Alejandro got a good run coming out of that corner. Look at the front and rear of Alejandro's car. And let's get some tire information up here for everybody, because that is going to start changing here relatively soon. You see Thomas Zentner pitted for another set of softs. So he started on softs, he's gone out on softs, so he'll have to make another pit stop later in the race to switch over to the mediums. So he's going to do a 3-stopper. And here we go. Now Gapar's got a run coming out down the straightaway, side by side with Logan. Logan's going to go deep onto the brakes. And Gapar is going to put the power down, and he's got him. He's got him. A change for position. It took 9 laps worth of racing, but Alejandro got the job done, and now Epic the Animal is in danger of losing another spot to Ben Fernandez as we look at the back of Alejandro's car. Now the question is, can Logan get that spot back? And Peter Sundberg just picked up a 3-second time penalty as well, and now Logan will have the DRS advantage. And he is going to get a good run coming out of turn 1. Is he going to be close enough to make the move? He's hard on the brakes. I think he thought about it, and now I think he's thinking about going to see if he can make it down into turn 3. But Alejandro gets some good traction coming out of that corner. Logan's not going to be close enough to make a move. And a big lockup on the right front from Alejandro. And this is some great racing from these top 3. And Logan, I mean, there's a bit of a rivalry here between Logan and Ben Fernandez. I mean, Fernandez has come out on top on just about all the races. He started off the season 3 for 3. He had 3 podiums in 3 races. 2 of them were wins, and that's why he's got such a huge points advantage. Logan had his win robbed of him because of 12 seconds worth of time penalties at Montreal in the season opener, so that cost him a win there. He got called out by a safety car at Spa because of Paco Suarez's incident on the pit road, and that cost him. And then there was a safety car late last race where, again, he got caught out by the safety car, and there was contact in both of those instances with the drivers behind him, and ultimately those cost him the win. So Logan is really looking to try and capitalize on starting on the pole position and try and make up for some of these races where he hasn't been able to capitalize. He's often been the most dominating car during the race, but because of recklessness and time penalties and other issues, he hasn't been able to put a win on the board. And that's been very frustrating for him, and oftentimes the Red Bulls have been the ones to capitalize on his mistakes and the racing incidences that have cost him. So while Logan's been losing time and positions because of such things, the Red Bulls have been able to make up for it. And Sassy Pickle just picked up a 3-second time penalty. We've got a yellow flag. Sector 2 and 3, and that is Brandon Villegas. Looks like he's had an off at the S's. Meanwhile, we're going to go back to the battle for the lead because Epic is all over the back of Alejandro. Oh, and he tries to put the power down quick and almost lost the back end. So he's lost a little bit of time after coming out of turn 2 where he was desperate to try and make that move. Looks like Alejandro might have squeezed him a little bit coming to the top of turn 2, but working lap 12 of 36, and Peter Sundberg picks up a 3-second time penalty again. And now you see Alejandro trying to break up that slipstream, going to snake his way down the front straightaway. He knows Epic's got some speed, and Epic is good coming out of turn 1. That's where he makes up most of his time, and he's got the DRS slot open, and now he's going to be close enough to try and make a move. Is he going to try and late break him into turn 2? Yes, he is. He's going to try and get in there. And he's going to push him a little bit wide, gets the power down, and Epic the Animal Logan retakes the lead, and he's got the DRS advantage from the timing and scoring point. But Alejandro is still there. Now is Alejandro going to try and do a move? Late on the brakes. Big lockup. And Logan, I think, is maybe starting to struggle with the grip here on the tires. He's not able to pull away, and now the two Red Bulls they're all, you can throw a blanket over the top 3 of these cars. So a great move by Epic to get that job done and retake the lead of this race on lap 13. And these guys are still making circuits around the track on these 13-lap-old softs. They see Sassy Pickles diving into the pits from 4th position. Meanwhile, James Hallworth picks up a 3-second time penalty. He's currently running down in the 11th position. Now, because of the pit sequence, very sneaky and quietly, Kevin Harrison has moved his way into the 4th position without much of a threat of losing that spot right now from Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor is within the DRS range, but hasn't really been close enough to try and make a move as of yet. We've really been concentrating on this battle here at the front between the championship points leader and his rival, Logan Aron. It's Ben Fernandez running in the 3rd spot, and really this is what Logan needs. He needs to finish in front of Ben Fernandez if he wants to try and close that points gap at all. Now, if they finish the way they would right now, that's a little bit of a good chunk taken out of the points lead, but Ben Fernandez has such a huge points gap. I mean, he's 81 points compared to Logan's 45, and just to show you how close it is between the top 10, as we see Epic and Ben are both pitting. But Ben Fernandez is your points leader with 81 points, and then you've got 2nd and 3rd and 4th is T. Jonas, Logan Aron, and Kevin Harrison. T. Jonas and Logan tied for 2nd with 45 points. Kevin Harrison has 44 points. 5th in the points is Thomas Sentner, 39 points. Alejandro Gapar, after his first podium position last week, 35 points. Ewan McGregor, the reserve driver, 23 points. He's 7th in points. Bjorn Langfell, a full-time driver, only has 20 points to his credit, and he's currently in 8th in points. And now, because of the pit sequence, we see Alejandro Gapar is out in front with 14-lap-old softs, but Kevin Harrison has now moved into the 2nd position. Peter Sundberg is behind him in 3rd, and we know Peter Sundberg has multiple time penalties right now. So Kevin Harrison running the alternate tire strategy, as he often does. He runs masterful tire strategies. Playing the strategy game again, and he's worked his way into the 2nd position, and now Alejandro is going to pit as Rowan Lakely picks up a 3-second time penalty. So Kevin Harrison is going to come around to be the leader of this race. And now Thomas Sentner, who has already made a pit stop once, he put on another set of softs. He's moved his way into 3rd. He's all over Peter Sundberg. And he should be able to easily make this pass. Woo! Maybe not so easy. Pushes him a little wide, gets the power down. And Thomas Sentner is off and running. But look at this. I don't think Peter Sundberg's done with him. Sundberg going to try and go to the outside of turn 3. Ooh, that was close. Almost had a Lewis Hamilton, Alexander Albon moment there. Meanwhile, while these guys are racing it out and duking it out, here comes Logan Arond. He is under half a second behind Peter Sundberg, and he is on the move. Look how much time he made up there through the S's. So if Epic doesn't do anything crazy here, save your move for the passing zones. We've got a yellow flag, sector 3. That's a quick on-off as Logan's going to make another move himself back into third. So now both Haas's are on the podium position, second and third. Kevin Harrison's leading this race. I don't think he's going to be leading it for very long, though. And Andre Sauerhog just picked up another 3-second time penalty. Meanwhile, Ben Fernandez is losing a little bit of time. Now, during the pit sequence, it should be noted that Fernandez is the one that pitted first. And during that, looks like Epic has gotten past his teammate, but is it just me, or is it starting to get a little overcast here in Austria? I don't know what the weather forecast is for this race, but it is starting to get a little dark here in Austria. Track's going to cool down. Weather could be a factor, and that might be. I'm telling you, if it rains, Kevin Harrison is a freaking criminal mastermind because he's put on those medium tires. I think he's going to run them to see if weather is a factor. If rain comes and there's a changeover to intermediates, Kevin Harrison's going to try and run these mediums as long as he can and possibly make the change to the intermediates while he's in the lead of this race. And Rowan Lakely's retired from the session. Oh, no. Looks like he's dived into the pits and called it a day. On lap 18, there's a yellow flag, sector 3. That is him actually retiring into the pits. So Rowan Lakely done for this race. That is too bad. Had potential for getting points today, so. But we do have some overcast shadows, and even track temperature. Track cooling down could definitely be a factor as well for tire temps. Maybe get a little bit more longevity out of those medium tires. But we did see Epic pass his teammate Thomas Zentner. I don't know if there was any team orders there or not. I think Zentner knew Epic was on the better tires, as Zentner's on 11 lap old softs, and he's losing a little bit of ground to Ben Fernandez. So Epic is gaining in on Kevin Harrison for the top spot. Ben Fernandez, though, he's going to have his work cut out for him, as he's going to have to butt heads here with Thomas Zentner, teammate to Logan Arond, and Logan obviously being second in points right now, leader of the race. I would like to think that there is some team orders between those two, and we're just going to see how long and how bad can Thomas back up the Red Bull of Ben Fernandez and keep him at bay. And Peter Sundberg with another 3-second time penalty. Peter currently running in the 6th spot, but right now he would probably finish almost outside of the top 10 with as many time penalties as he has. I believe he's got 12 seconds worth of penalties. That's going to drop him out of the points. That is too bad for Peter. Now Ben Fernandez and Thomas Zentner. Fernandez looking to make a move up into turn 1. Is easily going to get that done. So now there's a 3-second gap as we see Epic the Animal looking to make a move on Kevin Harrison. Ooh, he thought about it. Trying to get in there. Now Harrison's going to have his work cut out for him. Harrison knows he's not the quickest driver. We've got another yellow flag, sector 3, and that might be Andre Sauerhog again. That's on the front straightaway. It's Braden Villegas who calls that one. And we've got Eric Pettington joining us on the live chat. Always good to have him with us as well. And we're talking a lot about Logan here. Logan Arond trying to get around Kevin Harrison. And Harrison, as I was saying, he's going to have his work cut out for him. Harrison knows he's not the quickest driver on the grid. He is a former F2 champion. He knows he's not the fastest driver. He's got 20-lap-old mediums. Obviously, Logan on the fresher set of mediums. He's the faster driver. He's going to have the DRS advantage. And I think Logan's going to be able to easily make this move. And Logan Aron back to the top of the timing charts, up into the lead. As we see Thomas Zentner, oh my goodness, Thomas Zentner going 3 wide with the Red Bulls, trying to wreak some havoc and help his teammate out. And down to the inside, Zentner's going, they bump wheels and they're 3 wide into the corner. That's not going to work for anybody. We've got another yellow flag, sector 2 and 3, and it looks like that might be Sondre Sauerholm. And he gets up and running again. So Sondre and Peter Villegas having a tough time today, but look at this battle for the 3rd spot, and Brandon Villegas is going to retire from the session into the pit lane. And when they're bumping and grinding, Zentner making life very difficult for the 2 Red Bulls, and I think Ben Fernandez is starting to get a little aggravated. And Kevin Harrison finally pits from the top spot. That hands the lead back over to Logan Aron, and now it's a Haas 1-2. And here we go again. Ben Fernandez trying to make the move around Thomas Zentner for the 2nd spot. And look at Zentner trying to get out of the corner to get that power down. And Zentner is not going to go quietly into the night. Big lockup on the right front. And now look at this, the Red Bull are side by side as Alejandro Gapar goes around the outside of Zentner to take the 3rd spot away. So it was a Haas 1-2 for only a couple of corners, and now it's a Haas 1, Red Bull 2-3. And while all that was happening, Fernandez has lost a little bit of time. He's almost 5 seconds back from Logan Aron, and it looks like the tires are finally giving up on the Haas of Thomas Zentner. He's going to pit again. He's done 2 stints now, both on softs. He's going to have to switch over to the medium tires. Sassy Pickle picks up another 3-second time penalty. He's currently running in the 5th spot. Now, is there any team orders between Ben Fernandez and Alejandro Gapar? Ben Fernandez, obviously your championship points leader to a large degree. Alejandro had his first podium position last week. Now, if Red Bull wanted to play it right, these two could flip-flop and slipstream off of each other for the next number of laps and actually catch up to Logan Aron, who is the leader, to the tune of 5 seconds and still pulling. If these guys decide to battle it out, it's going to open the door for T. Jonas, who's only 2.9 seconds back. Meanwhile, we do have a little bit of a battle for the 6th position. This is James Hallworth in the Racing Point. He's just a second behind Ewan McGregor. And what was once a bright and sunny day has become overcast by a large degree. Still wondering if weather's going to be a factor during this race. And another 3-second time penalty for Sondre Sauerholm, currently running in the 12th position, 58 seconds behind the closest car in front of him. So Sondre's struggles continue. Now, the 2 Red Bulls are the closest cars together on track, only 0.4 of a second separating the two. Not sure if there's a battle going on here or not, or if there's any team orders, so haven't seen Alejandro try and make a move on Fernandez. And given the championship point standings, I don't think that he would try to make a move. And Eric commenting on the actual F1 race today at Mugello, and yes, another crazy race in Italy. Things keep up like that, I can't even imagine what Imola is going to bring later in the season. Unfortunately, it was another Hamilton win, which, say what you will, doesn't seem like it's very hard for Hamilton to win a race, given the equipment that he has to work with. So it's Hamilton winning a Formula One race in the hybrid era, to me, is a lot like Toyota winning Le Mans. there isn't any competition for him, and it's more the equipment than it is the driver, if you ask me. But neither here nor there. We're not talking about F1. We're talking about International Racing League as we watch second and third. It looks like Kevin Harrison is making a move to get around James Holworth for the 7th spot. He's made his pit stop and switched over to some soft tires. And it looks like the sun is starting to come back out, so it doesn't look like rain's going to be a factor. It did get awfully dark there for a little while, so track temperatures are going to heat back up for the last 10 laps of this race. And we'll see if the alternate tire strategy benefits Kevin Harrison, as he went on a very long stint on the medium tires. Meanwhile, Ben Fernandez is getting dangerously close to his teammate. I should say Alejandro Gapar, as he goes around his teammate. So Alejandro takes over the 2nd spot from his teammate and championship points leader Ben Fernandez. And I'm watching the timing and scoring, and the gap is about 6 seconds to the leader. Has been for a number of laps now. Wondering if these two are going to try and work together. Because T. Jonas is still 3.3 seconds back. He's not really gaining any time, so seems to be a bit of an impasse right now. Nobody's in the top 4. Nobody's gaining any time on the driver in front, and they're not losing any time on the driver behind. Meanwhile, Ewan McGregor has now moved up into the 6th spot and looking to try and make a move on Kevin Harrison. I'm sorry, on Sassy Pickle. He's got Kevin Harrison behind him. So we've got a 3-car battle starting to materialize here between 5th, 6th, and 7th. That's going to be Sassy Pickle in the Ferrari, Ewan McGregor in the AlphaTauri, and then Kevin Harrison in the Alfa Romeo. Meanwhile, watching timing and scoring, Alejandro Gapar has actually gapped Ben Fernandez by about half a second now, so the gap to him is 9/10. And he's also made up about a half a second to Logan Aron. So Logan's lost a half second in this last lap here. His gap is now down to 5.4 seconds. And Ben Fernandez with a costly 3-second time penalty. And he is now outside of the DRS range of his teammate. And now we've got this 3-car battle that has materialized. And here we go. To the outside, Ewan McGregor trying to get the Sassy Pickle. And now look at Kevin Harrison. Harrison's got to be careful for this. They're going to go 3 wide into the corner. It's not going to work. Woo. Kevin Harrison trying to get to the inside, get that 2-for-1 deal. He gets around 1. This is interesting. All 3 of these cars are on all 3 different compounds of tires. Harrison through the short chute down to the second left-hander. Out of the S's. And Ewan McGregor is going to be shaking his head. Ewan was trying to make a move on Sassy Pickle. Loses out of position to Kevin Harrison. And Harrison's going to have a great run coming out of the last corner. Blows by the Ferrari of Sassy Pickle. And now Kevin Harrison is up into 5th. And that is job done for Kevin Harrison. Meanwhile, Sassy Pickle now in danger of losing another spot to Ewan McGregor. Ooh, McGregor all over the gearbox. Gives him a little bit of a bump there. Don't think it was anything intentional. Oh, hard on the brakes. You see the Ferrari and the AlphaTauri both lock up that right front. You want to talk about rubber being laid down. You see the black streaks on the track heading down to that downhill turn 3, that right-hander. So can Ewan McGregor get past Sassy Pickle for the 6th spot? And Sandre Sauerhog picks up another 3-second time penalty. Meanwhile, the gap at the front, we've got a yellow flag, sector 3. Not sure what that's about. Doesn't look like there's any incidents on track. That could just be Codemasters, working their magic. Ewan McGregor, big lock up there. Really had to check up. That's going to cost him a little bit now coming out of the corner. And as I was saying before that yellow flag in sector 3, the timing and scoring showing that Alejandro Gapar is now under 5 seconds to Logan Aron. We'll see if Logan is able to hold off that gap, because as it stands right now, Alejandro would have to gain almost a second a lap on Logan to try and catch him and pass this race. And Sandre is on... Sandre has been disqualified from the session. I must have missed that. I see Sandre commenting on the live stream saying that didn't go according to plan, but apparently that's what the yellow flag was for. Apparently he's been disqualified, and usually that happens when you're going the wrong way on track. So, rough day for Sandre. But he'll come back and do it again next week and hopefully have a little bit better luck at the next round. Peter Sundberg is on his way to possibly the most time penalties I've seen, as he picks up another time penalty. And now Ewan McGregor trying to make the move on Sassy Pickle as we look out the back of the TV pod. And he finally gets the job done and is out in front. Bjorn Langfeld now, he's going to try and set his sights on Thomas Zentner. Thomas Zentner's race is not going according to plan. And Sandre saying he's having a rough season at the moment. And yes, Sandre, I can definitely concur with that. But certainly wish you better luck in the coming races for sure. Meanwhile, Bjorn Langfeld is under a second to Thomas Zentner. Zentner is just having a rough race. I don't think he played the pit strategy the way he wanted it to. He had to make, he made 2 stops for soft tires and then switched over to the mediums late in the going. So working lap 32 of 36. And the gap at the front is 4.5 seconds. And we do have ourselves a 3-car battle materializing. I mean, once again, we've got Zentner trying to hold up Bjorn Langfeld. Peter Sundberg going to be a part of this battle, as he's just going purple in sector 1 on on the soft tires. Oh, but a big moment coming out of the corner. So Sundberg lost the back end of his car. So the question is, can Kevin Harrison now closing in on T. Jonas? And he's made up a lot of time. This is going to be for the 4th spot. Kevin Harrison with the DRS slot open on the rear wing. He's going to be able to gain a little bit of ground here. Can he make a move heading into turn 2? Gets a good run coming out of turn 1. Harrison with some speed going to try and go around T. Jonas. And he's going to blow by him down the straightaway and into turn 2. And he'll get the power back down, and job done once again for Kevin Harrison. So Harrison running that alternate tire strategy after a poor qualifying effort. Not sure if that was by design or not, but Harrison on the mediums, switched over to the softs, and he's now worked his way up into the 4th spot. He was leading the race at one point under the pit sequence. Meanwhile, Sassy Pickle and Ewan McGregor still not done with each other. You see the difference in tires and laps. Ewan McGregor on 17 lap old mediums, while Sassy Pickle's on 18 lap old hards. And Thomas Zentner just picked up a 3-second time penalty, currently running in the 8th spot. He's got Bjorn Langfeld all over the back of him. Meanwhile, T. Jonas hasn't completely lost touch with Kevin Harrison for the battle for fourth, so this battle's not completely over just yet. T. Jonas with the DRS slot open as they head down into turn 3. And Paco Suarez cheering on Kevin Harrison here in the live chat, seeing if timing penalties will give him another podium finish. I got to be honest, I don't think the top 3 have a lot of time penalties today. I think most of the time penalties I saw was from, unfortunately, Sandre. And now Sassy Pickle picked up another 3-second time penalty. I have seen his name a couple of times. And Peter Sundberg for sure. James Hallworth just picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. He's currently running in the 11th spot. But I do think that the timing penalties between Peter Sundberg and James Hallworth, I think James Hallworth is going to walk away with a championship point. In a big slide by T. Jonas coming out of turn 1 as he's trying to get that power down. He's got that DRS advantage, but he can't get close enough to Kevin Harrison to make a move. Meanwhile, with 2 laps to go, Alejandro Capar has closed in on Epic the Animal Logan Aron to the tune of 3.6 seconds. So Logan's lost some time here in the closing laps, but not enough for it to be of an issue. And here comes Sassy Pickle. He's going to dive to the inside of Ewan McGregor. And he just can't get the power down. I think his name's Adrian Villarroel or something like that. I think he's the guy that said just call me Adrian, but I'll get confirmation on that. For now, you're a Sassy Pickle. So he is trying to find a way back around Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor using the powers of the Force to stay out in front of the Pickle. And T. Jonas just picked up a 3-second time penalty, trying to find his way around Kevin Harrison, and that's going to cost him dearly because even if he gets in front of Harrison, I don't think Harrison's got any time penalties, so it'd be all for naught at this point as we work lap 36, the final lap of this race, and we'll pick up the leader, Logan Aron, to Epic the Animal as he heads down towards the 2 left-handers. Heads through the first left-hander, down the short chute into the second one. And James Hallworth just got around Peter Sundberg. So good on him. James Hallworth will get that 10th points-paying position. Here comes Logan Aron, and I think he's finally going to get that win that he's been looking for all season. No incidences today. He comes across the line. Alejandro Gapar is going to slow down and let his teammate go by. Look at this. And that is bad news bears for Logan. I'm surprised by that. T. Jonas picks up 4th spot. Kevin Harrison 5th. Ewan McGregor is 6th. Sassy Pickle 7th. But wait, because of the timing penalties, he's going to lose out on those spots. Thomas Zettner is going to be 7th. Bjorn Langfeld 8th. Sassy is 9th. And Logan will be happy with the win. I think he's going to be a little bit frustrated with Team Red Bull, though, as Alejandro stops. And Kevin Harrison gets driver of the day. Good on Kevin. Started deep in the field. Worked his way up to a 5th place. But Alejandro stopping at the start-finish line to let Ben Fernandez go by. So Logan will be happy with the win, but he's not going to be able to close in that points gap as much as he wanted to. And the rivalry between Team Haas, Logan, and Alejandro and Ben Fernandez is just going to get worse as this season goes on. So here's your unofficial results for today's race. Epic the Animal, Logan Aron walking away with his first win of the season, followed by Alejandro Gapar. So Alejandro tried to let Ben Fernandez go by, but because of time penalties, Fernandez is going to get dropped to 3rd. So that is good news for Logan. T. Jonas is 4th. Kevin Harrison up to 5th. Ewan McGregor was 6th. Thomas Zettner 7th. Bjorn Langfeld is 8th. Sassy Pickle drops down to 9th. And James Hallworth is 10th. And here you see 20 seconds worth of penalties for Peter Sundberg, and then 30 seconds worth of penalties for Sandre Sauerhog as he, Brandon Vegas, and Rowan Lakely were all DNF'd. And actually, Sandre was disqualified from the session, but he'll be credited with the DNF in the official standings. So, great run today, and now I know Logan is doing double duty, as am I, Me and him have to switch over to IRS, and no, that is not the Internal Revenue Service of the United States government. We're going to switch over to the International Racing Series. Well, he'll be participating in another race, and I'll be calling it. But guys, we're not here for IRS. We're here for IRL right this second. So be sure to like, subscribe, and comment on the YouTube channel. Get caught up on all of the previous races, plus all of the other 5 tiers of racing that IRL has to offer. F1 through F5, plus a realistic performance league that runs on Wednesdays. Be sure to check that out, where we put the fastest drivers in the slowest cars, the slowest drivers in the fastest cars. And be sure to check us out next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Check us out on Twitter at F1_IRL for all the news and notes leading up to next week's race. I'm KAMIKAZE-FOX. I'm off to IRS. I will see you at the next round.